Dr. Schaffner, I was stopped in my tracks by that whole article in which you're quoted about how much we've lost. Just talk about where we go from here, because I think your conclusion, the conclusion of others, is that it's really hard to convince people to stay home for another 3 months when their government failed them during the first 3 months.
Well, Nicole, where we're going is forward. And the question is not whether we're going forward, but how. Are we going forward carefully, prudently, in a way to reduce the spread of this infection? Or are we going forward in a much more carefree fashion and saying, what the heck, we'll just deal with all these illnesses that are going on and we'll just tolerate all these deaths? That sounds harsh. That sounds severe. But that's the way I'm reading it. I think our mayor just told us last night, the executive order, if you go outside, you must wear a mask. This ought to be uniform across the country. It's the new normal. It's the only thing we can do to minimize both the public health and the clinical impact of this very serious infection. You know, it's a lot easier to wear a mask than a ventilator.
How did this little piece of cotton or whatever fabric become the political statement of 2020? How broken are we, Dr. Schaffner, that this connotes any political meaning? Someone could have a pediatric cancer patient. Someone could have a diabetic mom. How did this come to be tainted by politics?
Well, those of us in medicine and public health don't understand that. We're extremely frustrated by it. The mask has no politics, and neither does the virus. The virus doesn't care whether you vote blue, red, green, or orange, or don't vote at all. It's an equal opportunity infector. Its only job is to infect someone else and propagate itself, to continue in the population to survive. And it's very contagious. And as we're learning, ever more serious. The more we learn about this virus, the more we learn about the variety of clinical effects it can have. And as you have just told us in the intro, the number of cases is increasing. Hospitalizations are increasing. When you have people hospitalized, some of them will die. And that will continue unless we all determine to work together. This is one thing where we can all be together on this to reduce the impact of this virus on our population. The masks protect ourselves and they protect everyone around us. Heck, what's wrong with that?
Ron Klain, you had the job of helping the country prepare at a time when the bullhorn from the White House was used to keep people safe. What do we do now? That hasn't been the way it's been used.
Well, look, I agree with Dr. Schaffner that we need clearer and more consistent messaging around things like mask wearing, social distancing. But we also need the government to do its part, Nicole. We don't have a national testing strategy. We still have people, you saw over the weekend, this viral video of people bunched up against each other, waiting literally hours and hours to get tests in Texas, spreading the disease while they're waiting to get a test. We don't have a national contact tracing strategy. The countries that have beat this have tested extensively and then traced the contacts of those who are positive and isolated those people. We aren't really doing either of those on a nationwide basis. In fact, we really have no national strategy here at all. We've kind of gone to a let every state do it on its own approach. We're losing as many people to COVID, even with a reduced death rate now, as we lost each month during World War II. And during World War II, we didn't tell each state, just go fight the enemies on their own, figure it all out on your own. This is why we have a federal government. And our federal government just isn't leading on this. It isn't leading in terms of the response, and it isn't leading in terms of the kind of messaging that Dr. Schaffner's talking about.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.